What's going on, guys? This is Anime Degens episode 15. Got a few more fun topics to cover today, along with my host, Dan and Tyler. First thing we'll be going over is the review of our favorite shows from winter 2023. There were a lot of bangers that came out, but we're going to pick a couple of our favorites to talk about with you guys. So that'll be fun. And then after that, we'll be picking our personal anime sensei, which I think is going to be a great conversation. I think we all went different directions there. So stick around for that for sure. Tyler, you have something to tell the people?
Yeah. So we got a little bit of Naruto news today. Um, Coming from the Naruto 99 popularity contest with which Minato won actually. The one shot that Kishimoto was going to create is actually going to be releasing this summer. The plot will focus on the secret story behind the development of Minato's technique. I was kind of surprised that it actually is going to be so soon. I was expecting maybe a fall or winter release. So that was definitely a big plus for me. I'm excited to read it.
Yeah, Kishimoto's not playing games. He's pushing
No.
this one out. Yeah, he said it's going to be the secret story behind the development of Minato's technique. So that's going to be really, really fun and insightful. This might be the first manga I actually read. So, but we'll see.
We're gonna get you into manga, but then
I
we're
hope it
gonna
does.
step you up a little bit, and we're actually gonna make you read One Piece.
That'd be great because then we don't have to like in our private secret conversations we have not tell you about any of the crazy chapters. Me and Tyler have a separate chat where we literally just go like, "Holy shit! Do you see what happened in this week's chapter?"
You could be included, bro.
Damn! Now I gotta read it.
But
FOMO
then
is crazy.
At the same time, then you're like trying to hold back and make it seem like you don't know what the hell you're talking about in these episodes that we discuss. So yeah,
honestly,
that'd be good.
With One Piece for us, it's kind of easy because where they are in the where they are in the anime was like a year ago.
Yeah.
So like you've heard me say a million times, it's like I know what's happening, but I don't know when, and I don't know. I know the gist at this point, like I'd have to go back and read it to really dive deep into the chapters just because it's been so long.
See, that's nice that you actually kind of forget a few things before the anime comes up. That's dope.
And I just say stupid shit and say dumb stuff and and hope it goes.
You're better with the words than I am though, so that's something. Another thing which I thought was really cool, the original One Piece webcomic is back. One Punch Man. Sorry guys. Webcomic is back and
effort.
They dropped episode 142, Dan, on Saturday, and it's the first chapter that's been released since 2021. I know a lot of you guys thought it had ended, but it is back. Go check it out. Did you guys know it was actually a webcomic and not a manga? There is a manga, but it was based off the webcomic.
Yeah, so I had to look into it right before we did this. So from what I understand, it's like the webcomic is basically like the crudest drawing. So imagine like stick figures almost. It's not stick figures, but it's very crude. And basically what he does is he takes that, then adapts it into the manga, which is then adapted into the anime. So I think he fleshes the story out a lot more in the manga versus what he just does in the webcomic.
Yeah, probably works on it a little bit harder or add some detail, I should say. Sure, it's hard work either way.
Definitely. And we also got some leaks from the One Piece live action show, which Oda's given me a little hope on this one. He basically came out and said, they're not releasing this shit until it gets my seal of approval. And Oda is the most anal mangaka there has ever been. Like, homie makes his like assistant sleep with their phone on his chest on full ringer, full vibrate, and if they don't pick it up, they're fired. So he is really anal about his IP here. So it gives me hope that they're going to do it some justice, unlike a lot of the other live action anime shows and movies we've seen.
I think he needs to be that way, honestly, because you see a lot of other mangakas, they have time to work on maybe 2 or 3 anime, if not more in their lives. But this is his life work. This is his legacy. This is what he's leaving for the world, and it's huge, obviously in Japan. But he's, like he said in the past, like he's trying to make this movie so it can go worldwide. 80% of his sales and revenue sales come from Japan, so he wants to get everybody else involved. I know us in the anime community, we all love One Piece. We think it's huge, but it's not as big internationally as you would think.
Yeah,
Yeah, in France, it's massive in France too, which is really
Yes,
interesting.
okay.
they know
But
good art.
we got a nice little leak of the Marine uniforms, and they are pretty true to the manga. So I'm excited to see where it goes overall as a show. But we'll throw a picture in Discord so you guys can check it out if you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, they're looking pretty snazzy. Go check out Twitter.
Yeah. And just like they said, I'm kind of excited for this One Piece live action, but I'm kind of scared too because I'm getting excited. So I don't know. We'll see, boys.
Yeah, actually, the the live action movie that made me not like live action was like the old Avatar or the Last Airbender movie. And I actually
Oh,
saw a clip of it today, and it made me skeptical of live action all over again. It was like 7 people um bending one like small boulder. Yeah, I think us 3 could have thrown it at the firebender and it been more menacing. Um like somebody even said my grandma could move out of the way of that before it hit him. So, but I hope it's way better than that. I try to erase that movie from my memory all the time and it just keeps popping up in my life.
Hey
I
man,
mean,
the
the
Avatar.
good. Oh,
Oh,
go
go
ahead.
for it.
I was gonna say, that in the live action we should get to see, Nami and Arlong Park. So that's gonna be a big determining factor if it's actually good or not, if they can like deliver a scene like that. So
Yeah, one thing I think I saw is that Oda is not impressed with the influence of the West on certain characters. So we're gonna have to see what they did to Toner Boy Sanji down, because
yeah.
that's the only thing I could think of that would piss him off like that.
Yeah, he's a little intense, and I think it would be hard to like make that, transition that from animation to a real person. I think it might come off a little weird to us over here in the West. So
Yeah,
that's probably what he's talking
you
about,
can't have hearts pop out of his eyes and his heart pounding out of his chest and everything else like Looney Tunes style. So
Maybe they don't have the budget. I don't know.
yeah, I think you're talking about the live action Avatar with Ong instead of Aang. Like,
Oh,
why'd
that
they
hurt
change it?
me. Yeah,
But
don't
Dragon Ball Evolution is the worst piece of cinema to ever exist for an anime fan. So watch that one. It's
I will
bad.
not. I will
Yeah.
not.
It's
I'm
bad.
gonna pass.
Find a drinking game for it, dude. You'd have a great time and you would die.
It sounds like not fun. Yeah.
No. So, Dan, you want to get us into our first segment?
Let's do it. So we kind of decided with how good summer 2023 is looking and how good spring 2023 has been, we kind of decided to go back and look at what our favorite shows from last season were. And so that's what we're going to do, Bass, want to get started?
Yeah. So, guys, my favorite anime from winter 2023 was My Hero Academia season 6. That ran from the 1st of October to I think the 25th of March. It was in total 25 episodes, banger, start to finish. No
Yeah.
joke. Like My Hero obviously has been a great show throughout, almost every season. Started off hot, everybody's been loving it. One of the more popular anime that's come out in the last several years. But I thought the plot really picked up a lot in this season. Like we start off right from the first episode, they're getting prepared for like the attack on the paranormal liberation front. Um, and we get to see a lot of cool moments like Mirko, the rabbit hero, kind of go crazy on the high end Nomus, and she's like smiling through it, even though she's getting her arms and her legs broken.
Yeah.
We get to see a
Under
lot of
thighs.
yes, old Thunder Thighs, Stick Thighs saves lives.
Don't get me started, dude.
So I thought that was an amazing, amazing moment. I'm gonna try to go in chronological order, but obviously I'm gonna have to jump around a little bit. There's just so much that happened this season. Um, we got to see, Hawks have to kill twice, which he's a person that he sympathized with. He, twice had like a really, um, I guess, heavy backstory, and like he didn't really want to kill him, but he had to save the I guess surprise attack on the liberation front. Um, we also saw Dobby reveal his secret to the
Yeah.
world. I think people that were watching it kind of knew what was going on. He had like the blue flames from the Giddy, so we probably tied that back to the Todoroki family. But the whole world was shocked. They lost faith in the heroes. So we also got to see that little piece of it, man. I want to ask you guys, like, was this one of your favorite My Hero seasons?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was the best season for My Hero, hands down.
There we go.
Not
There
even
we
a
go.
not even a question. I was gonna pick this, but I know that My Hero is creeping into your top 10, so I figured I'd let the biggest fanboy get going on it.
No, you're
Yeah.
really right about that. It hasn't been in my top 10 until this season. I was having problems with like Deku. He was until this season. He was probably one of my least favorite MC
Yeah.
main characters. I think a lot of people think this. Like, I wouldn't call him like a crybaby, but he ends up being crying a lot. He has good moments throughout the show. Obviously, I'm trying to be balanced with my take here. But he always kind of found this. He always ended up in a position where he needed others to help him. But he's a kid. He's growing. Um,
And I think like this season, like compared to the previous seasons, it really elevated and took the seriousness to a different level, and that's why I think that everyone likes this season the most, and it's one of their favorites, is because it went to the next level, and we get to see a lot of intense moments, and then we get to see what you're going to talk about next is Dark Deku, and it's my favorite Deku yet. So
yeah, I have to kind of gloss over. Like, I broke the season down into two parts, which I forgot it was all in one season.
yeah,
So when I was going back and like recapping it, looking on the internet, it made me like this season even more because you have part one. I kind of forgot that was in season 6, and then but you have the part where we have Dark Deku. Holy crap! It really raised the level of Deku's character. He changed from always being in a position of having to cry or being breaking his own body just to survive or help his friends, um, to putting the whole world on his back. We got to see him in his tattered clothes, saving people. But even before that, you have like the prison jailbreaking. We get introduced to a lot of different villains. Shigaraki also awakens during the Liberation Front attack, and he levels all of Japan. And so a lot of the public loses a lot of faith between that and hearing about Endeavor, and the Gabi situation. So now there's also like some political PR moves that they have to make. And I think the top heroes handle that really well as they can, because they're still not getting back any trust. Um, but just seeing Deku grow up right in front of our eyes, I thought was fucking awesome. We also got introduced to a lot of new characters,
yeah.
a few new characters, I should say. Lady Nagant, Sniper Arm. Uh,
Bad bitch.
Yeah.
so first of all, we got to see a little
Waifu.
bit of dark side of the heroes because she was a hitman for him. So she was doing a lot of dirty work and killing people maybe she didn't want to. And then seeing her go back to the side of giving intel to the heroes, I thought was really cool. So she had some personal character growth, and then we got to see Stain actually help and be an integral part to helping the heroes by actually getting All Might to get out of his little funk that he was in, which I didn't even realize that he was in. But he needs to help more for them to succeed. But by far, my favorite part of this whole season was Dark Deku. Then outside of that, there's just so much. I don't even know what to cover, guys. But we we also got to see all the All for One vestiges. They slowly got introduced to the story throughout the season, but
We didn't
holy
get to see
crap!
all of them, did we? I think
I
there's
thought,
introduced to all of them
yeah,
yet.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we haven't seen like the last two fully
Yeah.
like accept
No, at the
Deku.
very end he did.
It's like the last 3 episodes. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's Fajin. It's the ability that one of them had.
Yes,
So
that is true. That is true. So, and that's something we've been waiting on, I think, for multiple seasons now. So we got a lot of payoff on that. Also, a lot of the stakes were raised with the heroes quitting, the souring of the public opinion. The top heroes now need Deku to win. He has to step up. He has to figure out how to be able to go 100% on all his abilities, and that added a lot of stakes to it. And then right at the very end, we figure out that Shigaraki's going to be at full power in 3 days instead of the 2 or 3 months that they thought. So great season opening up, great season closing. Hawk's not being able to be in the battle because he's still injured from the raid on the Liberation Front. I mean, it's just front to end. So much happened throughout the season. I gotta give it up to them, man. They really went crazy, guys.
Oh yeah.
And also like you know, we said this was one of our favorite seasons, if not the favorite season. Do you think that season 7 will be able to like surpass this season for y'all?
I don't know how.
I think with where it's going and the action we know is coming up, I think it's gonna, because we're just like moving to the climax now. And I think they're gonna bring the heat with it. And as My Hero keeps growing in popularity, they're gonna keep throwing a little more money at it, so we may get some really good animation. I mean, with all the shows around it stepping up to the level like One Piece and Chainsaw Man and JJK and Attack on Titan, like if My Hero wants to keep up, they've got to put a lot of effort in on the animation side. I think with the fights coming up, they're going to have to. So I'm really excited for it.
You think they're gonna have to?
Yeah, I think they're going to have to turn it up to 11.
Okay. Because I've always been fine with the animation because the storytelling's been good. I don't think you have to like release something and it be like the greatest animation ever, or really, the top percentile like we've seen with, what Mappa's been releasing here lately. Straight gas. We know that. So if it stayed at the same level, but the story ended in a way like that was really thrilling, I wouldn't care. I think they'll try to, but I don't think it's necessary to me.
Oh, I agree with you, but to the general public, I mean, people think Demon Slayer is the greatest anime in the world because it looks pretty, when the story is pretty linear and
Thanks.
okay,
Yeah.
it's a good story, but like, I think people get lost in the pretty colors,
Oh, for sure.
And
Yeah,
in
I'm
my
sure
opinion,
some
like
people. Mhm.
I was gonna say, in my opinion, like Entertainment Arc was the first time like it actually truly started to like go above that level where like, oh shit, like this is actually starting to do something for me. This is actually starting to, make me want to watch it like every week. As before, I'd try to just binge it, because it was there. It looked pretty. It had a decent plot. But now we're actually starting to get into the like really hardcore fights and hardcore intense plot points. So
Yes. And before we do move on, I do want to point out like a couple touching moments. There were obviously some banger fight scenes that happened in this season, but like I mean, you have Ochako um, giving the speech to the civilians to let Deku back in the UA. Um, Lady Nagant meeting Deku and realizing there's some good heroes out there. I mean, it had everything. It had the good fights. It had the plot progression. It had Dark Deku, and then they wrapped it all together with like a lot of touching scenes. Especially when Class 1A came back and kind of captured Deku and made him come back. I think we all shed a tear on that one. So
Yeah, definitely,
absolute
man.
fire. Nothing else is touching that this for winter 2023 for me.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see because there wasn't a lot of shonen released in Winter 23. So like we didn't have much to like compare it to.
Yeah.
Like Winter 23 was a bunch of really bad isekais. Like that's all it was. Every other show was my life as a vending machine, or my life as a car in southern Japan, or my life as a tree in a village of harem women. Like
Well, we also had One Punch Man. Not One Punch Man,
no.
but Chainsaw Man. That's what I meant to say.
Well, Chainsaw Man was
that was
fall.
fall. Yeah. That was
Oh
fall.
yeah, it ended in December. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, so like My Hero is kind of a weird spot because it was fall and winter because it was 25 episodes. But like when I went and looked at my anime list for Winter 23, I was like, this is kind of a dud season, which
It
is
was
why,
kind of definitely mid. So
which is
it
why
wasn't
I
hitting
ended
like
up
that, yeah.
picking my favorite show for the season as Buddy Daddies.
Let's go.
Because it was a great show and it's not something I would normally pick. But like the only other show I think would have been up there for me was probably Vinland Saga season 2, but I haven't watched it yet, so I can't obviously pick that.
yeah.
But like when I looked at, I mean, the first looks we did last season, a lot of them were mid at best. So it was kind of a down season. I was laughing when Bass said there was a lot of bangers last season. I was like,
I was thinking
really.
about Chainsaw Man, but you're right. That was fall.
Yeah. Well, the fall season was one of the
That's what I was
greatest
thinking about.
seasons in anime. Here recently because you had Bleach, you had Chainsaw Man, like you had just a bunch of different bangers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what got me right there. It ran in 2 seasons, so I got a little confused, boys.
Yeah, and I would have actually just picked One Piece, but that's a weekly, so I can't, because
we picking it every time, huh?
well, no, not that, but I mean, out of last season, I think One Piece was probably my favorite show. The
One
season
Piece
before
was
would have
going
been Bleach,
off, bro. Yeah.
and One Piece been going crazy for the last 6 months. So, but yeah, so I picked Buddy Daddies. If you guys have been listening to the podcast, it was part of our weekly rundown for the Winter 23 season. It doesn't need much introduction, but I'll give you guys a little recap. Buddy Daddy centers on a family of 3 who aren't related to each other. Kazuki, Rei, assassins live under one roof, and Miri, the daughter of Kazuki and Rei's assassination target. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Who ended up being picked up by Kazuki, who thinks is her biological father. So this was as a slice of life as you can get. And I'm not a big slice of life guy. There was some action in it, which I think kept me in it. But
There were spurts of action, yeah.
yeah, it was a great story. Like, I absolutely loved this show. This is a solid 8 for me. And if it wasn't for the season being a bunch of mid isekais, I might have picked something else because, like they were saying, fall had a lot of bangers, and spring's had a lot of bangers, and summer looks like it's really heating up.
Ooh,
Summer we're gonna be eating, boys.
But I know we all loved this show, so I mean, this is an open discussion. I don't want to rant on about it. But yeah, I thought it was a really, really fun show. The character growth in this was stellar. And the amount of character development and plot they shoved into 12 episodes was really impressive.
That's what I thought was most impressive about this show. They made you connect with the characters, even though it wasn't a big cast. They made you connect with all the characters, got the plot through, showed us a good mix of action and just regular slice of life content. And what was it, 12, 13 episodes?
Yeah. 12 in a recap, yeah.
12 in a recap, yeah.
And I think Buddy Daddies kind of parallels with Spy Family really well. It's not like on the same level, but if you like Spy Family, then you'll probably like Buddy Daddies. The only thing different is it don't have that little hint of romance in it. But it's still the story and the plot. I think is probably better than Spy Families.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I
liked Buddy Daddies more than Spy Family so far. I haven't watched season 2 yet, but I liked Buddy Daddies more than season 1 of Spy Family. I mean, similar plot, spies, assassins, blah blah blah. But
yeah, Spy Family is meant to be more humorous, I believe. Definitely dealing
for sure.
humorous and cute with, like I said, a hint of romance. So yeah, I can see that.
But I just really love the characters in this show, man. Like, Rei was my absolute favorite. Watching him go from, like, dude who lived in the trash, like he was literally the Grouch from freaking from Sesame Street. Like, he lived in a trash can. His apartment was disgusting. And by the end of it, he's cooking, he's cleaning, he's being a real person. And he has a lot of growth too on the side of his family trauma and how he was raised and coming through and actually, confronting his father, which was the big climax of the season. So
yeah, I would like to step in and say, like, anybody in our audience that hasn't seen this, through the first 1 or 2 episodes, I believe there was a consensus that Rei was our least favorite character. And the fact that he's now Dan's favorite kind of shows you how much they fit into this. It was honestly impressive. It was grade A writing. Great pacing, and I think it's just a testament to how well the show went.
Yeah, and seeing that from an anime only show is really impressive too, because they didn't have a manga to work off of. A lot of the shows we watch are obviously adapted off manga. That's how anime normally works. So I was really impressed with the show, the fact that they came up with such good source material, not on the fly, but without somebody writing it beforehand.
Yeah.
Hell, and Tyler even wanted a second season.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The only thing I didn't enjoy about it is that I didn't get to see the after life of. I didn't get to see them grow up, bro. I
It
didn't get to
ended
see them be a
perfectly.
family together.
It ended perfectly,
So,
and I nailed it. We like during the weekly rundown, I was like,
Oh my god, yeah, you
these guys
did.
are gonna pull it off. The building's gonna burn down, and they're gonna end up on a beach in like Miami or something, living the life. And sure enough, the ending is basically Miri's in high school. They moved to, I'm assuming, Florida or California in the United States, and they start a diner together. And Ray has his one specialty dish, which is French toast.
Never learns how to cook anything else.
But I think looking back at it, my favorite moment was the episode where Miri competed in her daycare sports day.
Oh,
okay.
It
that
was
was amazing.
it was like the culmination of the development as a family and all the growth they've had in that sense. I mean, there's a scene where Ray starts cheering for Miri and screaming, and she's so like distraught from it because she didn't expect it that she trips and doesn't win the race she was in. There's a really touching scene where they have to do a scavenger hunt, and the one that she pulls from the hat to find says family. And she goes right to the papas and she brings them to the teacher and she wins a gold medal for it. And like, I'm like getting goosebumps right now thinking about it because it was such a touching scene, like it really hit home for me.
And you're telling me you don't want a second season of this?
No, I think the ending was perfect, dude. The way they ended it was perfect. And it would go away from all the tension, I guess, of the Suwa family versus them and all that. Like without that, the show would lose a lot of its.
It'd be a
What's the word I'm
different
looking
story.
for? Yeah.
Just be a different story. And
But I
I
want to
think
see that story. That's what I keep on saying. I want to see that
okay.
story.
I don't need to
think
see Miri get hit on by dudes. She's
I
a beautiful
think
little angel.
when you're telling a story, it's also wise to know when to stop.
But can you imagine Ray and them's like reactions to like all these common tropes that are in slice of life like this? It would be funny to see those,
It would be
see
fun.
him go through, you see them go through that and work out how to do stuff like that.
That would be a really good idea for a slice of life, and it'd be something I could get behind. I know he's saying season 2, but I'm saying if it was from the point of view of like the father
Mhm.
of a guy of a girl who's in high school and bringing boys home and stuff, I think that'd be really funny. Because that's something that like at our age we're getting eventually going to get to, and it'd be something very relatable to somebody in their 30s or 40s.
Yeah, for
What
sure.
what if I found something like that for y'all?
I could
Would
give
you
it a
watch
go.
it?
Yeah, I think that'd
Yeah.
be fun. Yeah, for sure.
I've told you like multiple times, if you can find me a slice of life that isn't a bunch of 15-year-old girls screaming at each other and fighting over boys, I can get behind it. But that just ain't for me, man.
We'll see what I can do. We'll see what I can whip up. So.
Did you guys have a favorite scene? Because I know we all watched this together. So did you guys have a favorite scene you want to talk about, or episode? I guess I know I didn't tell you guys to do any research on that, but there's gotta be something that comes to mind.
I mean, one of my favorite scenes is what Dan was talking about. It's when they moved. It just felt like when it moved past that point, of being just the stand-in figures to actually being a family. It seemed like the turning point of the anime, in my opinion,
Okay.
is somewhere around there.
Dan already, said my favorite scene. So I'm gonna go with one that kind of just like stood out to me. My actual favorite scene was the one where the race. That was my favorite episode, where Mary came back and got her papas after getting the note
Yeah.
card for the scavenger hunt. But one that really stuck out to me was the scene where um, I forget what happened, but Kazuki kind of like goes off on like I guess like in front of the teachers, um, kind of about Mary's mom coming back, I believe it was, and Ray kind of pulls back and says, "Hey, we gotta calm down." Um, and take this to a different place. I just kind of thought that was really cool how we saw that interaction. So that
Oh,
was like
the
the most
umbrella
interesting one, huh?
the umbrella episode.
Yes, that was it. Yes, so that was a good episode, and I think that was like a moment that stuck out to me a lot.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
But yeah, if you guys are newer to the podcast and you haven't checked out Buddy Daddy, is definitely due. I mean, it was top tier slice of life for me. I mean, I haven't watched a lot of them, but I think it'd be tough to top that one with a bunch of screaming 14-year-old girls and high school dating scenes. So
Yeah. Do you guys think this would be a good anime to like help somebody get into anime?
I think
I don't
so.
know.
I think it could be a good one. I mean, it's not like a
If
lot
your
of other
girlfriend or
anime.
wife, yeah, if your girlfriend or wife like is trying, you want to find like an anime to watch with her. I think this would be a good one.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
just depends on the like if it's a woman, your girlfriend or wife, yeah, sure. But if it's your like guy friend, your best friend or
Probably
whatever,
not fair. Yeah,
I
maybe
don't
not
I
for
don't
them.
think so. I think the best entrance is like like a shonen type thing because most new anime people don't really vibe with slice of life type stuff. So until later
That's
on,
true.
I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
But
Well,
yeah.
Tyler, you want to get us into your pick? Yet another slice of life that I haven't watched and I probably won't watch.
Yeah, I don't think either of the boys has watched this. But before I do that, I think it's a general consensus that all three of us are, top two is obviously My Hero and Buddy Daddies. So I'm choosing a different one, which a lot of the rom com side of the anime fan base probably knows about. It's Tomo-chan is a girl. Uh, this was a 13 episode anime from Winter, obviously. It's a rom com based off of a web manga as well. So that's kind of what we was going back to earlier when we was talking about web manga and stuff. It's kind of a weird. I didn't actually know that. I thought it was based off an actual manga, but now that I know that it's like a web manga that's with the crude drawings and stuff, it's kind of a surprise. So, um, but basically, since no one really knows about this show but me, it's about a high school girl named Tomo who's constantly mistaken for a boy because of her tomboyish looks and personality. It leads to all sorts of hilarious and awkward situations, and you find yourself rooting for her as she goes about her school life and just building relationships. It's very lighthearted and it's just a funny show that you're definitely gonna laugh while watching. And I think, anyways, I did. Uh, so this show has like 3 or 4 characters that are usually in rotation. That they kind of focus on, which is Tomo. She's the main character. You see her in every episode. She's very energetic and outgoing. The other main character, which is her childhood friend and crush, his name is June. He's like the cool, calm, collected type of guy. Very one dimensional, I would say. Um, your typical uh, protagonist, male protagonist in most of the scenarios. Then you have like Mizuzu, who is a side character and is Tomo's friend. She's the manipulative type, and she actually is one of the ones that makes it funny because she actually puts Tomo in all of them in awkward situations, and she has to figure out how to get out of them. And yeah, it's usually pretty funny. And then we got the last one, which is Carol, and she's actually like a transfer student from Britain, and she's like a airhead, not very bright at all. She's like the comedic relief, I guess you can say. She's blonde, And of course, they had to do that, but
Stereotypes.
but I see what they're doing. You can't fool us. But it's actually pretty cool. The voice actor for Carol, her name is Sally Amaki, and she actually does the voice acting for the subbed and dubbed for Tomo-chan.
Impressive.
So that's only a few people actually do that, and she was getting a lot of hype about it on like Twitter and social media and stuff because that's actually impressive being a bilingual dubbed voice actor. So.
Yeah, and then being able to speak with no accent in another language is like a whole nother level,
Yeah. She and both are actually pretty good, the dubbed and subbed. But to finish it off, this is one of my favorite rom-coms of the past few seasons. It just made me laugh a lot. Had some serious moments in it too. You could tell it's supposed to be like humor over seriousness.
That's good.
Pretty easily. The girls on this show really carry it. Tomo and Carol especially. They're just funny in their own ways. I think I gave it around like a 7, if I remember correctly. But that would probably be my favorite after My Hero and Buddy Daddies, which is my top 2, like Dan and Bass was talking about.
Yeah, I think on that front, I mean, me and Bass basically flipped a coin for which ones we wanted to talk about. And Tyler was like, well, shit, you guys didn't really like any other show, so I guess I got to find a third one.
Yeah, I mean, Blue Lock, the second part of Blue Lock was airing just like My Hero. It done like a fall start and a winter finish. So I could have picked that, but I really like Tomo-chan more. I wouldn't say more than Blue Lock, but we already covered Blue Lock before on the show, and I felt like my type of show was Tomo-chan, so here we are.
Fair. By the way, guys, my backlog is getting ridiculous. We first looked so many good shows, except for Alice Aegis or whatever it was called.
You were lucky enough to not have to suffer through campfire cooking in wait for it.
I remember you guys calling
Another World. And honestly, like that was a show that I didn't think was that bad. It's just like I'm curious if I'm curious if the plot picked up,
I don't think so.
I just don't have time. I just don't have time to go back and watch it. I got so much stuff on my plate anime wise right now.
Same. I've always also been trying to catch up with Bleach before this next part comes out. So I've mainly been focused on that. I finally got to do Dr. Stone season 3, and I finally got caught up on that. So I'm just now getting back to where I can like watch some other shows that I want to watch. So I'm excited because, like I said, my backlog is crazy right now.
Yeah, I've really got to get a jump on Gundam Witch from Mercury because I haven't even had a chance to watch it yet. It's like Sunday and Katie's like, oh, you have to watch anime for 5 hours. I'm like, yeah, pretty much.
That's the same thing here, bro.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I started like 1:45 because that's when Demon Slayer comes out, and it's like till 5-6 o'clock. That's what I'm doing.
It's like, don't talk to me, y'all. I'm busy.
Yeah, new rule for the weekly rundown next season: no Monday release shows.
We had to look into that.
That does kill me every Monday.
Dude,
should I cook or should I watch Insomniacs?
I watch Insomniacs at 7 o'clock on Monday, and we literally start recording at like 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Bro, y'all almost had to do it without me because I was sitting here on the couch just chilling, watching another anime, and then like at 6:30 or so. Or 7:30 y'all's time. I was like, wait, I didn't watch Insomniacs. I was like, I gotta watch that shit.
Oh, that's why he was
30
late.
minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, I got like 30 minutes, bro. I gotta watch this shit. I was just sitting here thinking I already watched it. So
I think we found our limit for the weekly rundown going into next season. I think we got to cut it at 5 shows because 6 is a lot, and while I'm loving every show we're watching, it's just like it's a lot to retain going into talking about it.
I think it was last week or the week before where I was talking about the wrong episode, and let me go on for like 2 minutes, and they're like, "What the fuck is going on right now?" So yeah, I think 5 is a good number. Yeah,
I'm really excited to go back and look at Spring 23 next season, though, towards the end of it. Or I guess towards the midpoint of it, and kind of talk about the shows we've been watching now, because there's been some really good shows that I'm watching that aren't on the rundown. And I think you guys would love to hear about them. I've been watching Magical Girl Destroyers, which is the most ridiculous show I've ever seen in my life. Like, there's like flying waifu pillows going around in that shit.
Okay, yeah, you have to tell me about that. But yeah, I think this season is much better than the winter, so we're gonna have a lot.
Oh yeah,
I think a lot more
a better season.
Varied opinions about our favorites from this season.
Yeah, definitely. And next season is gonna be crazy because we're gonna be getting absolute peak One Piece, no spoilers, but peak One
Yeah.
Piece is coming. It's going to be about like I think the next like more on what 1063.
What did you say?
1063, I think. Yeah.
Oh,
Or
So, like-
1064 or something like that.
1062 is the next episode.
So 1062 through like 1075, 1080 is going to be absolutely insane, and I would be surprised
Super
if
spicy.
I know we have some good stuff coming out next season, but One Piece is hitting probably the greatest part of One Piece to come out in the last 26 years or whatever it's at. So like,
For real?
yeah, buckle up. One Piece
I-
is going to be in consideration for anime of the year.
Oh,
If-
fuck.
If I'm reading stuff right on Twitter, y'all better hold on for July, because July is going to be a big month for One Piece.
Yeah, there
So-
might be some weekly rundowns where we only get to talk about 3 shows because we're going to be talking about Bleach, we're going to be talking about JJK, and we're going to be talking about One Piece.
I'm
And
so hyped for JJK,
I don't even
man.
know if we're going to have time, guys.
Fudge. Yeah, we're gonna have to
So-
condense it to our favorites somehow. I don't think 6 is gonna cut it.
No.
For summer, even though there's gas coming out. So
But awesome, you guys want to get into our anime senseis?
yeah.
So we call this one, just pick your anime sensei. We're going to stick with the theme of reminiscing and let you know who we'd pick to be our own anime sensei. This conversation is going to center around their character and the lessons they've taught their own students, since we don't have any cool powers. We're just normal, weebs,
Just some dudes.
So, but yeah,
I might be able to pick up a thing or two from mine, not gonna lie. Haha.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what we got. We're just picking anime senseis that we'd like to have to teach us how to be, better human beings, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and start us off too. I mulled over my choice for a while. There's so many, goated, anime sensei. But I went with like an off-speed pitch. I don't think many people would pick him just on first thought. So I went with Mike Guy Sensei. I'm gonna start off with my man's resume because I think it's very, very impressive. This is from Naruto, if anybody hasn't seen it. But his 2 best pupils, Neji and Rock Lee, some of the best from their generation, period. And I'd like that he kind of understand when to leave Neji alone, and when to coach him up on his personality and whatnot, but then pushing Rock Lee to become a taijutsu master. So I think he's got a good way about him and like actually knowing his students. And then we have the third one, which I think a lot of people sleep on, me myself included. He even coached Tintin's sorry ass up.
Hey, Tintin's my girl. Leave her alone.
Is she cool though?
Tenten's your girl?
She's one of my
cool.
girls. I'm allowed to have more than one.
Bro, she's got a scroll and she just throws a million darts out of it,
Hey.
basically, man.
Hey.
She can throw it at me all she wants.
But she
So,
came
You want to
through on
die?
She came.
I won't die.
Maybe it's not Kuna what he's trying to get thrown.
Hey yo.
If you're into that, man.
But she actually clutched up during the 4th Great Shinobi World War. She defeated 2 of Kakasu's masks. I think there was the wind and the lightning one. And she ended up wielding one like the Sage of 6 Path weapons, which can kill most shinobi. So he taught her a little something about chakra control. And she also helped, steal Kingaku and Ginkaku. But one thing, some of the things I really like about him, going to his personality, and this is already something like I try to put in my own life. I think this man is the epitome of like hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard.
Okay. Yeah.
I believe it was a coach from that was a quote from like a basketball coach, I think back in the 90s or 80s. But I think it's very true. And he didn't start off as like the most talented or anything. Kakashi used to make fun of the guy because he wouldn't get into the ninja academy, and then he ends up, being the strongest, as said from Madara. And I trust that man's opinion because he's been in a lot of fights. So
I can say that, yeah.
Yeah, I
can
mean, I
agree
think
with
that's a
that.
fair assessment. You know what I'm saying? And then he is like some drawbacks for him though. Like he is very over the top. But I think if somebody were going to be my sensei, I'd rather them be like that. I don't respond as well to like negativity while I'm trying to work something out. I'd rather be somebody being like, look, keep going, do not stop, motherfucker. And
That's
like,
guy.
yeah, like he's not gonna let me quit, and like I would feel bad quitting on him because he believes in me so much. You know what I'm saying? Um, and like he has a moral code and he sticks to it. He has great self discipline. He works out all the time, and I also thought about how he was like a parallel for one of my basketball coaches I had. I think when I was either 13 or 14, it was my first AAU basketball team, and our coach twice a week we practiced 4 times a week. Twice a week, our coach would run all of our drills with us. Everything from
Okay.
suicides, taking charges, uh, push-ups, everything. He would just do it along with us. And this guy was like, I think he was in his 50s, and he wanted us to know that he would never ask us to do something he's not willing to do. Looking back, it was probably just a workout for him too, but I was willing to run through a brick wall for that man at any point. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I don't think a lot of coaches do that. I've had several coaches in my life, and he was the only one that made me feel like, yo, like this dude cares, and we're here for a purpose. You know what I'm saying?
And one of my favorite things about Guy is that, and it doesn't really make sense. He's always like, "All right, Lee, if I cannot do 100 push-ups with one hand, we will do 200 laps around the village with a handstand." And I'm just like, bro, like if
Strength.
you can't do that, then why are you trying? You're just putting more work on yourself. It doesn't make sense. Just
That,
just
that's the code, bro.
just
That's the
push your
code.
limits, bro. Just push your limits and do the best you can.
but we're gonna do even better. That's how he caught up with Kakashi. Um, but like, yeah, he values hard work, man, dedication. And he's never gonna give up on you, man. Even like when you kind of give up on yourself. We kind of saw Rock Lee get down on the dumps, having to go, up against Neji all the time in training and not feeling like he was good enough. But Guy was always right there behind him to tell him, "Hey, man, you got plenty. You got all that heart, bro. Let's use it. Let's use it. You can get like me." I think that'd be a good like life coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That motherfucker gonna
Definitely.
get you up in the morning, dog. He gonna text you and see what's up.
He's not gonna text you. He's gonna run over there, bro.
Oh,
He's
even
gonna be
better. He'll be
banging on
my
your door
alarm
at 5
clock.
a.m.
Let's go. I'm out here.
So Bass, if you were the pupil of Mike Guy, would you pull a Rock Lee and wear a matching outfit and get the matching bowl haircut?
Maybe not the bowl haircut. I feel like in the real world, he'd have to be looking pretty snazzy though. I come fuck with some suits or something.
Bro,
It's just
no.
green suits with red belts.
Hey,
Nah,
if you're gonna
maybe instead of
have
the bowl
Guy,
cut, we get like the daily wave check. You know what I'm saying? Show him something. Have him out here seasick and shit.
he wants the black Mike Guy.
Yeah. That's what we after. But yeah, no, I think his style, his demeanor. He also takes like a really good personal interest in like his students. He goes out to eat with his group regularly. Um, he understands their personal lives and he uses that to like coach them in a way. So I thought it was really cool how he like cared for them in different ways. But hard work, Guy, 100%.
yeah.
Definitely, man, 100%.
Who's next, boys? That's all I had.
I guess I'll go next. Because we just got done talking about Naruto. Everybody knows how much I love Naruto as well.
Yeah.
I actually challenged myself to stay away from Naruto with this topic, even though I really, love the characters. There's like so many good senseis that could come out of Naruto, like Jiraiya, Guy. Actually thought about Guy. I was debating on him. Pervy Sage is a popular one. Kakashi,
Everybody loves
Shikamaru
Kakashi.
even. So there's so many good people, but like I said, I wanted to stay away from them. So I picked Reagan, Arataka from Mob Psycho, and I'm pretty sure Dan and Bass has both seen Mob Psycho. I'm hoping a lot of listeners have seen Mob Psycho. If not, you should definitely watch it. So
I saw this one coming from a mile away.
you think so?
Reagan,
Yeah, I did.
Wait, why?
Yeah.
Why'd you see me picking Reagan?
Because you love Reagan, dude. He's like your favorite character in Mob Psycho.
He's shiesty, bro. Man,
No,
is
he's such a
shiesty. He says skis.
So here's the thing, though, is so we kind of focused on having your sensei IRL, not like in the world that they live in. And Reagan was really good with life lessons. I mean, Tyler's going to get into it more.
That's
But the
true.
dude was the sorriest ass excuse of a psychic coach you'll ever find.
But
Yeah.
like, I mean, but he would find something else to be sleazy at in the real world.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
he would be like top of a pyramid scheme.
That's
Bro,
where he belongs. That's
I
what I'm
really do
saying.
believe, even in IRL, this dude would be running the psychic business just like he is now,
He
and
could.
have people believing this shit.
He really could do it.
I'm just imagining him like in charge of like a team of a bunch of like housewives that he's using to push Mary Kay or something like that, dude.
But he'd be rich though. He would be rich.
He'd have that pink Cadillac, baby.
But yeah, this
Mary Kay King. Let's go.
Reagan, like the boys said, he's just like his whole focus is he's just basically trying to have a good time. Trying to make money. And I don't think the money part works out very well for him. I think he always ends up getting taken advantage of somehow in that department. But he does have a good time, I feel like. And speaking of like Mob Psycho and Mob, with Reagan being Mob's sensei, so to speak, I believe that he actually like truly shaped Mob into who Mob became. And he's like your average teenage boy that's shy and awkward and has a lot of struggles within himself. And but on the other side, he's also actually the most OP character of that universe. So he's on both sides of the world right there. And Reagan has to, figure out how to teach him to be a good kid and not use his powers for bad, And I feel like he does a good job. He teaches Mob, how to become more confident in himself, which a lot of people struggle with in the real world as well. Is self confidence, and he does a good job teaching Mob, to be that way. And the fitness club does a really good job of helping him out with that as well. But it's always good to not to underestimate yourself, and obviously to believe in what you can do, and that's one of the things that Reagan always teaches.
I'm gonna jump in right here. I love the fitness club in that anime. They're like my favorite people. They have hearts of fucking gold, man.
They do,
and they swole, so that helps too.
They're basically just a group of Mike guys.
They really are, though.
Hey. Yeah,
maybe that's why I like them so much.
Yeah, I mean they're just one of the people that don't really care how you look and all that stuff, what your social status is, as long as you try hard. And Mob, like I said, he really tries his best, and they can see that, and Reagan can see it as well. And I think it's really cool how Reagan tries to help Mob control and understand his powers, and while doing so, he tries to make him understand his emotions are connected to his powers. And that's all wild, considering that Reagan doesn't actually know how to use psychic powers, and because he doesn't possess any.
That is interesting.
Yeah. So he's basically continuously telling Mob not to be relying on his powers unless he absolutely has to use them. And he also teaches him right from wrong, which is something that Mob should already know. But when you got the whole hands and the whole world in your hands, like Mob does throughout the show, you can easily forget right from wrong. And I feel like Reagan does a very good job of keeping Mob grounded and keeping him, under control and helping him figure out his personal self. So, and going back to like the body fitness club, them and Reagan, they also instill in Mob how important it is to work hard and give it your best. Because success usually follows consistent hard work and dedication.
For sure.
And Reagan, his business is the result of that. He is out there grinding every day. The man just stays grinding, even though he's full of shit.
No,
He
he
still
is a
stays grinding.
grinder.
So
Like it's crazy, like how he's like such a like good guy and like a terrible person at the same time.
yeah,
That's
so
what I think is cool about his character. He's intriguing that way. Like he's using Mob, but also trying to make him better at the same time.
yeah,
But he's a skis ball, but like there's
and
a lot to like
also
about him.
like he's scamming people, but in the same sense, he's not actually scamming them because he lets himself get scammed because he literally does stuff for little to nothing or just bullshit. He ends up doing it for free basically. Usually, I really don't understand how he stays in business, but yeah.
He just does a little bit of high margin business.
I was gonna say it must be cheap. It must be cheap to rent a one room office in Japan.
I guess.
Hey, my man need like 500 square feet in Mob. That's it.
But yeah, to sum it all up, I feel like he's a great sensei to Mob. He teaches all kinds of skills needed for life, humility, hella problem solving skills, encourages Mob to think for himself and to be unique. But like I said, despite being 100% a scam artist and having no powers at all, he still teaches Mob to live by high morals and standards, and also how to control and understand his powers and his emotions. Which obviously the powers and emotions wouldn't come in handy for like being my sensei or somebody else's sensei in the real world. But all of those other things, are very good qualities in a human being for the real world. I
Well,
feel like.
yeah, I think, and also learning how to control your emotions is part of being a successful person. Just in
Yeah.
general, I think, and just being a decent human being, you have to be able to control your emotions. If you lashed out every time you got mad, or you went and did something crazy every time you got sad, you wouldn't be a very good adult. I don't believe. Most ill-adjusted adults don't control their emotions well. So I think that's actually something that could be applied to the real world.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
But yeah, I feel like this was a very good pick for me, considering that I wanted to pick like 3 to 4 different Naruto people, and I think I had Uehara in there as well. I wanted to pick him as well from Bleach, but yeah, I stayed away from all that. I picked Reagan, my man, the man of the people, Reagan.
Love it, dude. Well, staying on the topic of psychics, I went a little further back to the 90s. And I think one thing I'm really enjoying about this segment is we hit each like decade of anime for the last 30 years with this. So Bass had Naruto, which was, mid 2000s. Tyler here had Mob Psycho, which I believe came out originally in 2016.
Yeah, like 2015, 16, something like
So,
that.
last 10 years. And then I'm throwing it back to the 90s with Genkai from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yes, let's go, dude.
Okay.
So, Yu Yu Hakusho, if you guys don't know, is in probably my top 5 anime of all time. I absolutely love this show. It's great subbed or dubbed, and it's one that I think I like watching more dubbed. It's probably because that's how I watched it the first time. So it's the nostalgia comes back to it.
This could have been really awkward, Dan. I like Genkai was like second or third on my list when I was making it.
Dude, she's a great sensei. So
She is, man.
I kind of looked at Genkai for a few reasons. One, experience. Genkai is an incredibly powerful martial artist and psychic in the Yu Yu Hakusho world. Despite her old age, she's still a badass. She's mastered multiple techniques that are just OP as shit. The spirit wave is incredibly powerful. I'm not saying that I have the spirit wave capabilities, but maybe I can get a little spirit gun going, I mean, if Yusuke learned in like 3 days, who knows, man? But based on her skills, who she is, I think she could be a really wise old sensei for me to learn and grow from, you know?
Fair. Yeah.
One of the reasons I picked Genkai is because I've noticed as a person that tough love is the best way to get a point across to me. People
Okay.
who don't tell me, like, if I'm just getting complimented the entire time, I don't think I need to improve on anything. And I need somebody to tell me that, hey, you're fucking up. You got to do this better for me to actually grow as a person. And Genkai is probably one of the best examples of tough love there is in anime.
Mm-hmm.
She's an old bat.
Oh, she is, dude.
She's an old bat. She's cranky. But
See,
one thing she... Oh, go for it.
Yeah, that was like the only reason I didn't pick her. I was like, I don't normally respond well to that too much. In spurts, I do. You know what I'm saying? I need like constructive criticism, but she's like on that motherfucker all the time with the negativity. I'll be like, no, get out of here, leave me alone.
You got to think she's dealing with some pretty big delinquents with Yusuke.
That's true. He needs it. Yusuke had that.
Yusuke needs it, man.
So I haven't watched Yu Yu Hakusho yet, but you said she's older, but is she looking fly or what? Like, what's up with that?
I'll get into that a little bit down the line.
She got a clean fit. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
So there's a part of it. So basically, she's training Yusuke and some of his friends for the Dark Tournament and trying to get them jacked up for that because they got to go fight Toguro, who is actually her ex-lover who became a demon and is super fucking powerful.
Fucking spoiler alert. I'm joking.
Oh,
it
dude, it came out in
like
30 years ago.
Yeah, it came out like 30 years ago.
Dude, this was on Toonami when we were like 8 years old, bro. Come on, no spoilers in that. Sorry, Tyler.
Yeah, damn.
Hey, that's dude.
Now. That was major plot point.
Okay, it's his fault for not watching a show from 30 years ago. Well,
you don't have to watch it now, Tyler.
The funny thing is
a lot of other stuff.
The funny thing is I wasn't even paying attention to what Dan was saying, so GG.
Oh, okay. Oh, that works out well.
But going back to tough love, like she really pushes her students to be the best they can in some very aggressive ways. I mean, there's a scene where Yusuke is doing like, I think 1 finger handstand push-ups for God knows how long, you know, to focus on his finger because he uses a spirit gun, which is basically him just shooting a beam of spirit energy out of his finger.
Spirit blicky.
He's got the spirit blicky, exactly. But yeah, I've always found that I respond best to that type of mentorship. So I think she'd be a really good fit for me. And you know, maybe one day I can become a badass spirit detective like our boy Yusuke. So another thing with Genkai is, no, it's not. But another thing with Genkai is she's very, you know, in her old age, she's full of wisdom. She's very insightful. She doesn't just push you to be the best martial artist or psychic that you can be. She tries to instill life lessons, which is very important. And that's something that I would really appreciate. And one thing that she stresses the most is finding your own path. And I think that's crucial from a mentor to find your strengths and push you in a way that your strengths can be utilized the best. And going back to what Tyler was saying about is she fly during the Dark Tournament arc, she's a total badass.
Dripped out. She
comes back as their fighter. She's hiding her face because she's got some cool abilities. I'm not going to spoil them now because, you know, can't spoil an anime from 1993. But she, you know, she's a total badass, and she just shows in that part of the show that her teachings lead to pretty great fucking results because she's like 90 and she's kicking demon ass left and right.
So I just looked up a picture of her, and for someone nicknamed Grandma in the Wikipedia, she's not looking too bad, bro.
Hey man, when you got a good grasp on spirit energy, you can look young forever.
Hey, pink hair, you know, it does the trick, I guess. I don't know. Hey, yo.
Okay.
But
hey, yo.
She really does a good job of demanding respect from her pupils. And I mean, I called her an old bat earlier, and that was Yusuke's nickname for a long time. But he begins to call her grandma because he looks at her in that sense. So, and she's anime's best grandma, in my opinion, you know?
Okay. Even over Tsunade?
I don't consider Tsunade a grandma, dude. She's a MILF.
But Naruto does. Granny,
I don't
you
give a
know.
yeah. Naruto is like 8 when he says that. I'm 30, dude. She's a milf.
I feel that.
But all in all, Genkai is just a super fun character. I love the way she interacts with Yusuke, and I think she'd be a really good mentor for life lessons. And maybe I can learn how to take out some demons using some spirit energy. Who knows?
Okay.
Not possible.
I'm just a little too late, dude. I gotta get hit by spoilers, but I gotta get hit by a car first and die, I guess. Get in tune with the
Gotta
spirit
take that
world.
chance, man.
I gotta go save a little boy's life who wasn't actually gonna die.
Hey, I was gonna let Dan have his moment, Bass. Come on now, let him.
No,
let him
I had to
live.
get my get back.
But so I was working on this at lunch, and I had been using Chat GPT for something else, and I was like, I'm gonna look up and see who Chat GPT thinks is the best anime senseis. And I was going down the list, and one really threw me off, and I want to get your guys' opinion on this because it had Sasuke Aizen from Bleach as one of the number 6 best sensei.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there like, this is the coldest motherfucker, the coolest, calmest, collected baddie I've ever seen in an anime. Like, why are they putting them down as a sensei, dude?
I mean, technically, if he used his Bankai on a person, that they would think that he was the best sensei because they wouldn't know any different, right?
That's true.
So,
But I did start thinking about it, and he was like a really good mentor for like Momo and a few other characters who were under him. So it's kind of just crazy to think that.
They love nobody. Yeah.
good thing Ichigo. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Well, that was a spoiler for Bass.
I'm
no,
currently watching.
He don't know what I said.
You didn't say anything. You did a very aggressive hand motion.
He didn't see it, bro.
Yeah, my ass. Thanks.
Spoilers. Holy. I'm talking about a show Tyler's never going to watch.
I am going to watch that. Chill. I'm going to watch it. Have faith in me.
How's Full Metal Alchemist
Bass
going
don't know
for
if
you?
Bass don't know if I'm telling the truth or not. I say too much bullshit all the time.
Oh, and a lot of smoke and mirrors now. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Aizen is the king of smoke and mirrors, so maybe he's onto something here.
Yeah.
Good point.
But awesome. I think we had some great senseis there. I think they're all really fun characters. I'm not going to lie. I thought Bass might have picked All Might because he's been on his My Hero kick.
Oh, no. There's no way. So All Might said himself he's a terrible teacher. Why would I pick him?
I think he's a terrible sensei too, but
yeah, I don't know, man.
He said he was hot ass, so I believe him.
give me mommy America, bro. I don't care.
We don't even know anything about her character except that she's got massive thighs, dude.
Big thighs save lives.
Give her to me. I've already told y'all I'm in America anyways in My Hero, so she can be my sensei.
Tyler's gonna end up with a squirt bottle.
Give it to me, bro. I'm ready. I'm prepared.
On that note,
all right.
We appreciate you guys hanging out and listening to episode 15 of the Anime Degens podcast. Make sure you come join the Discord. Tell us who you'd want to be your anime sensei and what your favorite show of Winter 23 was. I know I rag on isekais a lot, but I'm sure there was maybe one good one in there. Prove me wrong. Hit the link tree in the bio, join the Discord, check us out on socials, and I won't catch you guys next week for the rundown. I'm going on a cross-country road trip, but we're going to record the Degens Degenerate shit a little early, so you'll hear from me on Thursday. I'll catch these guys on Tuesday, and then we'll catch you next week. Thanks, guys.
Peace.